Good afternoon, everyone. I am Weipen Yang from the Education University of Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us today for this exciting discussion on teachers' AI competencies in preschool and school education. It's a privilege to be here with such a distinguished audience of educators, leaders, and government representatives from across Kazakhstan. As we explore the intersection of artificial intelligence and education, we recognize the immense potential that AI holds in transforming our teaching practices and enhancing learning experiences for the new generations. Today, I will give a talk on the strategies that empower educators to use AI technologies effectively, ensuring they are equipped with the knowledge, skills, and attitudes necessary to thrive in the changing world. So let's start it. According to a recent UNESCO report, AI processes vast information, generates new content, and helps decision-making through predictive analysis. In education, AI has transformed the traditional teacher-student relationship into a teacher-AI student dynamic. We can say AI is a powerful agent of change for teaching and learning. This change requires teacher actions. However, very few countries have defined AI competencies or developed high-quality programs to train their teachers in AI, leaving many educators without proper guidance. Today, I will be sharing on why, what, and how questions regarding preschool and school teachers' AI competencies, as well as a case study from Hong Kong. Most of the photos, pictures used in my talk are generated by AI, by the way. Thank you, AI. So here we do see some policies given by different international organizations on regulating AI use for children and, of course, for students and teachers. For example, here I'm showing you the policy guidance on AI for children from UNICEF, and also a regulation regarding responsible use of AI for children based on a rights-based approach to align with the children's rights policy. We can see that really AI has been gaining so attention from all around the world. And currently, in the society we are living in, we are increasingly relying on technological and scientific advancements. Literature has also widely documented the structural inequality in children's access to age-appropriate and meaningful digital tools and learning opportunities. We have recently published a review paper on the role of gender and socioeconomic status on children's use of robots in early child education, and we found that actually boys tend to have a higher level of enjoyment in being an engineer than their girl peers. And this gender gap could be due to unequal access to the STEAM learning resources and opportunities in the earliest years. And it also, boys seems to outperform girls in some robot tasks. And this gender gap could be widening in the AI society. So we really need to cultivate girls' interest in STEM activities in their early years, and of course, in the schools. And also, we have observed that there is a digital divide in the access to robots. And children in higher SES schools seem to have a better understanding of robotics. And this kind of educational technologies, such as robotics, tend to be more easily accessible for children whose families can pay for their learning opportunities, including those after school enrichment. As you can see from the pictures, those children who have access to robot-based learning, they are mostly from richer families. And AI introduces unique challenges, including bias, privacy concerns, and accountability. And this may lead to a widening kind of inequality issue. And we, as teachers, we must guide our students to use AI responsibly and critically and evaluate its societal impacts. And as you can see in this model is a conceptual model. Some educational technologies, such as AI and robotics, can serve as a tool for knowledge construction and can also be an assistive tool for students who have learning needs in some specific fields. And AI and robotics can be embedded into curriculum to change teachers' and students' attitudes to learning, allowing everyone to be accepted and involved. So by scaling up effective and sustainable robotics-based learning or AI learning programs in diverse education settings, the digital divide observed in gender, SES, cultures, and even different populations with different needs, this kind of digital divide can be narrowed down, and children from less advantaged backgrounds can be empowered to face challenges in the digital and AI society. UNESCO has published an AI competency framework for teachers. And in this framework, they outlined 5 key dimensions. The first one, human-centered mindset. So we need to prioritize human agency, of course, prioritize our students' learning needs, and also to prioritize accountability and social responsibility in AI use. That's what we call human-centered mindset. Second, ethics of AI. We need to understand deeply ethical principles, including fairness, transparency, and bias mitigation when we use AI in education. 3, AI foundations and applications. As teachers, we need to develop basic AI concepts such as machine learning, NLP, natural language processing, and their pedagogical applications. And number 4, AI pedagogy. We also need to develop innovative teaching methods using AI tools, such as personalized learning platforms, generative AI tools, adaptive assessments, etc. And lastly, AI for professional learning. We need to take use of AI for lifelong learning as an educator, such as data-driven insights to refine our instruction. So these 5 dimensions, human-centered mindset, ethics, AI foundations and applications, AI pedagogy, and AI for professional learning are the 5 dimensions highlighted in the UNESCO's AI competency framework for teachers. They have also highlighted 3 focuses, including knowledge, skills, and values that we as educators need to develop in using AI. And we also can go through 3 progression levels from acquire to deepen to create. To be more specific, my research team has recently developed the IDEE framework, to highlight AI competencies such as critical evaluation, we really need to assess AI outputs for accuracy and reliability. So we want our teachers to develop critical thinking. Of course, we want our students to develop critical thinking when they use AI. And we should start from teachers. And also, another key competence will be interdisciplinary integration. As a teacher, we should apply AI concepts across subjects. For example, use chatbots in language education, or we can use generative AI to assist children um, children's data analysis in their science learning. Okay, so what are the key ideas for children to learn about AI? What do we mean by AI? So AI, artificial intelligence, is really about how computers sense, think, act, learn, make decisions, create, perceive, and make sense of things. And AI education itself allows our students to achieve an understanding about AI. And previously, there are some research evidence telling us that without proper guidance, our students, especially our young children, may not be able to develop a comprehensive understanding of AI or computational objects like robotics through their self-directed interaction and exploration. So we as educators play a very important role in guiding their use of AI. So what do we need to know about AI? So for the K to 12 education, there are 5 big ideas, including perception, representation and reasoning, learning, natural interaction, and societal impact. So what's the first big idea? It means AI as computers, they can perceive the world using sensors. That's the ability of AI. And as educators, we need to know about that. And the second big idea is that agents, AI agents, may turn to representations of the world and use them for reasoning. That's the second big idea, representation and reasoning. So we need to know that AI can maintain representations of the world, of the outside world, okay, including everything, literacy, or even visual representations. So here we got multimodal AI agents already. For example, electric vehicles, they rely on those kind of representations. And social robots, they also rely on multimodal representations to obtain information for their reasoning. That's the second big idea, representation and reasoning. The third big idea is learning. AI can learn. Learn from where? Learn from data, okay? So computers can learn from data. Big idea 4 is AI has the capability to interact with humans naturally. So AI intelligent agents, they require many kinds of knowledge to interact naturally with humans. And lastly, big idea 5, societal impact. We should know that AI can impact society in both positive and negative ways. So it's linked to the ethics of AI, right? We should use AI in a positive way and to reduce its negative impacts. Okay, so it's the same for preschools. If we want our kids to understand AI, we should let them know like AI systems will use sensors to be understand the world around them, and AI will use rules and algorithms to process and analyze information. AI systems can process a large amount of data and learn from it to provide solutions, and they can interact with us, children, humans, in ways that they seem natural, and also they will produce impacts on our human lives and the world in a positive or negative way. So as you can see, AI literacy really involves three key dimensions. First, knowing that AI has been used to improve humans' daily life. So AI is a tool created by us as human beings. The second dimension is that AI can learn from data through classification, prediction, and generation. And lastly, we should understand that AI needs to be used ethically and responsibly to avoid bias. So in my own research laboratory, we created this kind of learning experiences for young children. And my lab is called the Early Childhood Learning Sciences Lab, ECLS lab. And in this lab, we have developed this maker coder STEAM curriculum framework for early child education. And we want to develop 5 key thinking skills among our young children. And I call them as SCALE. SCALE represents scientific literacy, computational thinking, AI literacy, metacognition, and engineering and design thinking. Okay, SCALE, SCALE. And we highlight play-based learning, problems, and project-based learning in this kind of curriculum framework. And this framework is useful because it integrates resources from multiple disciplines, and it has the potential to transform our current education system, especially the early childhood education system, through group-based, collaborative, thematic, and project-based learning, so that children will develop their 21st century skills and also STEM habits of mind. So here I'm showing you the differences between traditional instruction and our Maker Coder STEAM curriculum framework. Traditionally, we really pay a lot of attention to subject-based learning, skills learning, while for my STEAM curriculum, we promote this kind of transdisciplinary learning, authentic learning, and traditionally, we really rely on teachers to lead the education activities. Well, in the STEAM curriculum, we want our kids to play out their child agency. They need to lead their own inquiry and also knowledge construction. And traditionally, we assess all children in a very standardized way through exams, tests. But in my STEAM curriculum, I want them to be assessed in a very diverse way, using multiple representations, formative assessment, self-assessment, and we really appreciate creativity in assessing children's performance. And traditionally, we rely on formal kind of learning environments, such as schools. While in my STEAM curriculum, I see both formal and informal learning environments as crucial, including their home environments and community environments, such as libraries and museums. So we want our kids to really be able to learn everywhere, anytime. So what does that mean? I'm here to show you a case study. And this case study is really like a project, a STEAM project to learn together with the Hong Kong children to explore this issue of ocean protection, because Hong Kong is a coastal city. is surrounded by the ocean, and kids has interest in this topic very much. So let's see what happened. So the children, they're from their preschool affiliated to my university, and is this is a class of 5-year-old children. So at the very beginning, the educator set up the environment, the classroom environment, to really to stimulate children's learning interests, to be interested in the ocean. And they set up a classroom learning environment in this way is to really to bring the ocean into their classroom, to make it into an ocean kind of environment, so that kids will be immersed in this kind of learning topic. And this topic is actually about ocean protection. As I said, Hong Kong is a coastal city surrounded by the oceans. Children, they really like to go together with their families to go to the beach and also go hiking in some remote islands. So they really already have a lot of funds of knowledge about this topic. So at the very beginning is ready to introduce the topic to the children, and then they started this journey, this learning journey of getting to know how AI plays a role in ocean protection. But it's not everything about AI, right? AI is a tool for scaffolding their learning. And at the very beginning, they investigate how serious the problem is. So they collect some water, the ocean water, from uh, from the real environment, and then they use this telescope to investigate how clean the water is. So they get it up. They find out that there is ocean pollution. So you can see that they're using some technologies like an iPad telescope for the investigation. So they really work like us scientists, and then they play some games to understand how AI learns. So they pass on their information from one to another as a line. So by playing this game, they get to know that information should be processed by everyone, and it can be delivered from one to another. And it's the same as AI, that AI is a computer that can process information effectively. And how to get kids to understand machine learning, for example, which is a key concept in or a key technique uh, in AI. So we ask kids to play this free game. It's a digital game available online. It's called AI for Oceans. So we use this game to get our kids to understand how AI can be trained by data. So you can see like the teacher was demonstrating this game to our 5 years old kids, and then they were put into groups to take turn and use play with the game to train AI. So you can see here is an AI ocean machine processing the information. And then, because one of the 5-bit ideas in learning about AI is that we need to know about the impact of AI use. So there could be some negative impacts, such as bias, right? So what is bias to 5 years old? We show them different different jobs, such as football players, doctors, teachers, um, and so on. So we show the different pictures to the kids to ask them, should a woman or a man be a doctor, or should who is supposed to be this specific occupation, to which gender is supposed to take on this occupation, and we wanted kids to realize that actually, for them to for every job in the world, either men or women can really do that job. So it's it should not be gender bias, and that they get to know, oh, actually human beings can have bias. So do AI. So AI will also reproduce the bias from human world. Then we also bring in an AI doggy, and this AI robot can interact with our kids through different commands or instructional cards. So the kids can instruct the doggy to do something interesting. And something that surprised us is that their interactions with the robot is happening outdoors. So the kids bring out this robot called Pebble to the outdoor environment to interact with their their neighbors, kids from other classes. So they get to know unfamiliar friends. So that's how they interact with AI. And this is very interesting because we see like AI as an agent can actually support children to socialize, to make friends, to develop their social skills. And this kind of social interaction is super important for young children. And then for the for one of the project activities is to sort out the waste. So we want kids to have this environmental protection awareness. So we really invite kids to bring different trash from home, and then they did this waste sorting activity all together. And they really know that it's important to protect the ocean, to clean it up. So how can AI help? How can AI help clean the ocean? So at that time, the educator introduced a real AI application, which is called Clearbot. It's actually an AI machine, an AI ship. And this AI ship or this AI robot can be used to clean up the ocean. So during a few trip, the the kids were brought out to the beach, and then to see or the seaside, and to see how this robot help clean up the ocean. So let's see a video, a very short video, to see how did this happen and how did the children react to an AI machine.
你見唔見到啊？佢執咗啲垃圾啊！我見到佢執嗰個膠袋啊！係啊，你見到係咪啊？嘉南，你見唔見到啊？嘉南，係啊。嗰度有膠袋，快啲收咗膠袋同埋一個包。
So we didn't expect to see it. There was so much, like a big amount of trash right there on the ocean, but the kids were very excited to see like the robot, this AI machine help to collect trash from the ocean and then to clean up the ocean. And then they really feel that AI is helping us. AI is protecting the ocean. And that's really a big lesson to them. I'm sure it will leave a very strong impression to their early years so that they will know the power of AI use in the world. So what can we learn? What can we really learn from this project, from this case, is that we need to make sure that we use AI responsibly to facilitate children's learning, to give them authentic experience. So children will learn from authentic, active learning. And also, we need to connect their body and mind. It's not just about their mind, but also their bodies. So we want to introduce embodied experiences to support their interactions with AI, and also to learn through their bodies, to go out, go to field trips, to dance, to play a game, at whatever, so that the kids will really learn through their whole body, not just their mind. And lastly, I think is a key lesson that we provide opportunities for our kids to interact with AI or an AI robot. By doing that, kids will really get to understand AI better, either good or bad. Kids will get to understand through their authentic interactions with AI. So, what can teachers do? What can teachers be supported to develop themselves in terms of this kind of AI competencies? So, how did that educator become like that to be able to support children's development, support children's learning with AI? So, I developed this approach called the three-phase PD approach to developing teachers' AI competencies. So what are the three phases? The first phase is the hands-on workshops. We need to let our educators understand what do we mean by AI, and what can we do with AI in education. So there needs to be different workshops, hands-on workshops to develop our educators, our teachers, pedagogical content knowledge, and also technological knowledge. The second phase is one-on-one coaching, and this can be either on-site or web-mediated. So this coaching will give timely feedback to the teachers during their practice, during during when they transfer what they learn from the workshop to the practice. So coaching is important to give them feedback. And the last phase is the professional learning communities. We call them as POC or POC meetings. So in this kind of occasion, the teachers will interact with their peers to further develop their knowledge, and also to support their reflections on practice. So this three-phase approach can really facilitate the development of the teachers' AI competencies and their curriculum innovation capabilities. So in the first phase, there are already some online workshops tailored for educators. So just like this one, this was developed by the European countries to train is a MOOC online course. The teachers will get to learn AI in education, some foundations, introduction, and what's meant by AI, how does AI work, AI at our service as teachers. So all the key topics that are necessary for a teacher to learn. So that's the first phase. And another example is from Singapore. So Singapore has started this AI Singapore initiative, and they built a platform for teachers and students. And as you can see, the teachers, they can choose different micro courses from this platform, and there are also some further learning resources for them. The second phase, as I said, is very important, is coaching. So coaching can happen on site, on the right side in the classroom, after getting observed by an experienced coach. They will model the best practices and then give you some feedback, and then re-observe your practice, and 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 it will be a very good way for you to improve your skills in teaching. And another way will be remote coaching, or we say website mediated coaching. And it's very similar, is that you will videotape your classroom practices, edit them into video clips, send the video clips to the expert, to the coach, and the coach will give you the written feedback, or to have some online meetings with you, so that they will support your reflections, and then work on a plan for the next round of practices. And this will also help you to be able to incorporate AI technologies into your teaching. So coaching is demonstrated to be effective in supporting teachers' development. The third phase, the last phase, is the PLC meetings. So PLC meetings will be useful. And in my research, we support teachers' discussion, reflection, sharing through the WhatsApp group. So WhatsApp is a social media commonly used in Hong Kong, and we built up a group for the teachers to discuss within the group, and they will also have online meetings to share their practices, and also to stimulate their reflections on their own practices, and this will support their further growth. So PLCs, they are very useful. It can be like a circle as well for each PLC meeting to happen. Firstly, by identifying a problem from their teaching practices. Secondly, to share their teaching cases with their peers. And lastly, they will discuss on those cases and some good strategies, and to stimulate their reflections. So all this way, they will develop, they will grow. So lastly, some key takeaways. As mentioned and covered in my previous sharing, and the UNESCO AI competency framework for teachers, we get to know that to support our educators to develop AI competencies, we should do at least 5 things. Number 1, we should regulate AI use, and ensure trustworthy AI tools for education. So I'm not sure whether this kind of regulation is available in your country, but I think it's very important, especially to build up a platform with all kinds of trustworthy AI tools for educators. So our educators can use those AI tools for their teaching. Number 2, we should build enabling policies and conditions for the use of AI in education. So this kind of conditions should be supportive. And I'm sure your country is doing great by having this kind of discussions on AI in education. This is actually a key message to all the educators in your country, saying that it's necessary and meaningful to use AI in education, as long as you use AI ethically and responsively. Okay, so with this kind of regulations, policies, and supportive conditions, and resources and tools, our educators, they are able to use AI effectively. That's the second message, the second takeaway from today's talk. Number 3, we should formulate and adopt local AI competency frameworks for teachers. Here I'm sharing you an international AI competence framework developed by UNESCO. It's very good, but it's not enough. For you need to have a local framework, and such a local AI competency framework will be more specific and culturally sensitive, so that the local teachers will better understand what AI is, how to use AI, the technological, pedagogical content knowledge of AI use in education. Okay, so this is necessary to have a local AI competency framework. Number 4 is to design and streamline training and professional development programs on AI competencies for teachers. So just like today, I'm sure today is a very good professional development opportunity for all of you. And in the future, there should be a more comprehensive AI competency PD program in your country to support teacher training and teacher education. And lastly, it's very necessary to develop contextual performance-based assessment tools. And this kind of assessment tools will be able to understand how well our educators are using AI to facilitate our students' learning. Is AI used in an ethical way? Is AI used in an effective way? Is AI used in a student-centered approach? And with this kind of assessment tools and indicators, we can demonstrate how AI can be effectively used in educational contexts. I look forward to learning more from you and seeing you in the future. And that's my talk today. Thank you very much.